All right. Well, all right. Get on up out of there. Black Beauty. Black Beauty had to stand in for me. My wife is in here folding me clothes. Everybody want to know who share the responsibility for show.
Who share the load?
Who share the load? We are Coolin, commands in a crazy kind of world. I'm glad I got my girl. What's up, Shawty?
Hey, baby.
Man, how art thou?
I'm good. I just don't feel like folding these clothes right now. I've been trying to get my head right to do these clothes for days.
Hey, listen, I don't think nobody really ever liked folding clothes.
Except, what's that lady name? Marie Chloe.
Marie Kondo.
Kondo. She like doing all the cleaning. And
But then they say something about shopping.
What?
I don't know. I ain't one to gossip, so you ain't heard it from me.
What they say?
I don't know. I ain't got nothing to say. So look.
She don't really be cleaning.
I don't know.
Her house dirty.
I ain't listening.
Her house dirty for real.
I ain't going.
She be having clothes everywhere for real.
Hey, shout out to my boy Gerald, man. You know what I mean? Down there.
I love that shirt.
Out of University of Memphis, Okra. I gotta remember the name of his box. I'm gonna put it in the joint below. But I want to say it's the Black Farm box, I believe. I can't remember exactly. If it comes to me, I'll tell y'all again. But shout out to my boy G. You know what I'm saying? Folding me clothes.
Hey, while we shouting people out, shout out to Fivefold. You know, this is very appropriate right now, bruh.
Black on, you know what I'm saying?
Fivefold.
Black
as
on.
we're folding clothes.
I know, right? Five folds. Hey, so look, man, we just coming to you Sunday Coolin on the nighttime tip. Just talking about the ways in which we share responsibilities, and we know sometimes in relationship that could be like one of the biggest challenges for folk. You know what I mean? Sharing responsibilities, meshing worlds, coming together, living together. And you know, you never really know your partner until you live with them, until you know your husband or your wife or your significant other
until you live with
the
them.
same roof, for real, for real. And I saw somebody say the other day, they were like, in marriage, somebody always put the dishes. It was Gerald, I think. It was my boy G. And like in marriage, somebody always put the dishes in the dishwasher like a military grade something, and then the other one just put them in there just all over the place, basically. And so
that was one of our biggest.
It was
in the beginning.
Yeah, it was.
We just started using the dishwasher because we wanted to stay happy.
Hey, let's wash it by hand.
We literally wash dishes by hand to this day.
Yeah, it's the best way too. But back then, I just remember like I cannot understand for the life of me why she would put bowls in the dishwasher right side up. I'm like, how are they getting clean? Every time I open the dishwasher, water splashing all over the floor. I'm like, Shawty, put them on. I didn't
grow up with a dishwasher. Literally, my first dishwasher was when I moved into this house.
Yeah.
Yeah, everything else I had to do by hands. Yes. Oh, the commercials be lying. The commercials say you can put it in there however you want, and you don't gotta clean nothing off it. It'll get everything.
This was really your first time having a dishwasher bag?
First one.
I did not know that. You for real?
I'm for real.
Okay, so that explains a lot.
Everything I did. Everything I had to do was by hand.
That explains a lot.
But when I got a dishwasher here, I was like, "Oh yes, I don't gotta wash dishes."
Yeah, I feel you.
You know what I'm saying?
So at that point, it didn't even matter how you put them in there.
I just put them in there.
Okay. You know what? I'm really just not knowing it to this day.
You learn something new every day.
And so
I didn't even know how to articulate that as, you know, this is why I do it. I was just like, this is how I do it. You know what I mean? And then we moved together and you like, this is how you should do it. And I was like, but this is how I do it. I was like, well, you
Let me ask you something though. If you had never had a dish, see this where y'all. You had never had a dishwasher in your life.
No.
And she stood on her point of this is how I do it.
Because that's how I have been doing it for a few years. This is like mind blowing to you, huh?
It is because you stood strong on that. Like you.
That's what I knew.
Nah, it's not mind blowing, man. It's funny. It's understanding responsibilities, right?
Yeah.
Like, right now, as I'm thinking, I never knew that was your first time having a dishwasher. So it does explain how you would want to be to defend. Okay, this is how I'm choosing to do it for the first time in my life. So you had to
add that part. My life. You saw y'all see that? How he added that extra on there.
You don't want to take it like that.
No, y'all heard it. Hey, defend me, y'all.
I ain't gotta defend you, man. You know what I mean? 'Cause I ain't coming for you. I ain't coming for you at all. But no, so I understand that. You know what I mean? And it does help me encapsulate that moment.
Yeah.
Like today, I can fully put a pin in that when it came to us sharing responsibility.
Yeah.
And what that was like learning those different things, and now knowing like you just gotta articulate how you feel. You know what I mean? You gotta articulate what it is, where you are, because it's taking us having to grow through that moment of
excuse me.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Just literally putting dishes in the dishwasher to knowing how to really work together as a team. You know what I mean? And I think one of the best ways to work together, man, for real, when you are newlywed, living with each other, all those things, is to just really communicate at the end of the day. You know what I mean? That could be 1 through 5.
It's so simple, but it's so hard.
Yeah.
Depending on the person and how they communicate.
Yeah.
How easy it is for them to express or articulate their feelings or whatever it is.
Yeah, I think. You want to say something?
I did.
You feel me?
I did that.
I think I did that too.
You did?
Yeah, I'm just breathing.
I'm just breathing. I ain't saying.
I would say this. I knew articulate your strengths. Like if I was to give my first point or my first way to say how to work through delegating and knowing that first of all y'all a team, you know what I mean, but also know your strengths.
Yeah.
Right, and don't be defensive if that's not your strength and your partner brings it up to you.
Yeah.
I would say that would be the one thing that I say in the world of communication to do that.
Yeah. I agree with that, because instead of really, I think we make it harder on ourselves when sometimes you do have to go through things to discover things, but if we just have the conversation ahead of time, right? Like, we had the conversation ahead of time about as far as gender roles and who do you expect me to cook every day? Do you expect me to do X, Y, Z when it came to like chores in the house and things like that, and vice versa? And like, do you expect me to take the trash out every day? That kind of thing, which he does, thank God, because Lord, I don't feel like it. However, it wasn't the expectation. We didn't put those on each other, but I think having the conversation ahead of time, but like, I'm really, I hate folding clothes and letting. I prefer washing folds. You know what I mean? Like, let me take it to the cleaners or let me take it to the washing fold, depending on what the item is, and let them people do it. And that can cut out hours of my time where I could be doing something that I feel more like doing. And I think having that conversation ahead of time really, I think, aids in just missing, not having to have those kind of run-ins because we talked about it. You know what I mean?
I just put
smacking.
It's a honey mint, but I just crunched it.
Oh, all the honey came out of that's that honey.
Yeah. At the end of the day, when you get married, you never know a person until you live with a person.
Yep.
You never know how they keep it, how you keep it. You know what I mean? All those things, you have to mesh those worlds.
And that's what I did have to learn. Like, coming into not just we had already been together, but living together, and being able to learn your spouse's way of doing things, and not necessarily like there's some things that we both learn from each other, but being open to, well, this process or this particular way works is more, it works best.
Efficient.
It's more efficient. That's the word. Yeah, it's more efficient. So I did have to open my mind up to that. But we eventually just stopped using the dishwasher. We just wash it by hand. That's why.
Because that's really the best way anyway.
It is. Know what I mean? And I actually enjoy cleaning the kitchen now.
Yeah.
I don't mind getting in the kitchen, putting some music on, or post like a talk show or something, and just listening, and then cleaning the dishes. It's a little quiet, therapeutic, a little quiet time.
Yeah, we've definitely grown in so many ways of blending our styles of how we, clean, and how the meticulous things that make us who we are, just naturally, and blending our styles has really made for a great home space. I think, and be okay and be comfortable with leaning into that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Lean into your strengths. So that's the one thing that I think is that has helped us come a long way in that regard. Because, shared responsibility when you both are working, you both are busy, you both have life, happening at so many different levels. And so then sometimes to come home and you like, they didn't do that, or they didn't do that. Or nitpicking at the fine details.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And not being open. It can lead to some frustrations when you blend in those worlds together.
Yeah.
And I think to alleviate that is to really talk about, hey, I like to do this. This is what I do like to clean. You know what I mean? And that way, it may be the same thing and y'all can do it together. You know what I mean? If y'all not the type to do it together, and you say, I want to do this and you want to do that, then you can say, okay, I like to clean that. So just speak on your strengths instead of seeing others' weaknesses.
I clean a good kitchen. I think on going off of that, I think another part to it is actually listening, right? And that comes to when I think about washing clothes, right? So, Los has a way on how he likes his clothes washed, because that's just his upbringing, and how, or eventually going into, adulthood or whatever, how you learn to wash your clothes. I do mine a little differently. And so I had to listen, to the way that if I'm going to wash the clothes, then this is how he would like his particular items to be washed. Because for me, I put everything in the dryer pretty much, unless it has to go to the cleaners. So I found out that listening and hearing what the other person has to say, if you are going to do certain things in the house and it's something valuable that they like or whatnot, you have to be open to how they like it if you're going to do it, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It goes a long way, you know what I mean? Because instead of saying, do it like me, right? Or instead of being antagonistic in the conversation, to listen to that person, to listen to your wife, to listen to your husband, and be like, all right, cool, this is how they like it done. So because at the end of the day, whites go with whites, colors go with color. The separation of the clothes in the wash.
Yeah.
Even for me, that was a big thing for me, because that's just how I was taught. That you separate everything. You know what I mean? From whites, dogs, grays, blues, pinks, reds, and then just to keep clothes. It was just a level. Well, for me, I ain't have a lot of money. You know what I mean? So I need to keep what I buy in the best way possible. And so I found that those were good ways to hang dry or to not dry. Because you see movies and stuff like that, the clothes shrink. I'm like, and then it happens to your own stuff. And so well, to keep it from shrinking, gotta air dry. Old school style, like my dad used to do in the backyard with the clips.
We used to have to hang clothes.
Yeah,
because we didn't grow up with a washer and dryer for a long time, and then we got a washing machine, but we still didn't have a dryer. So we used to have a clothesline behind the house. And we would have to take the clothes out of the washing machine, then go behind the house and hang up the clothes. And then if it rained, you have to run outside and get the clothes and get them off the line before the rain re-wet them up or whatever. So, you know, I'm not foreign, you know, I wasn't foreign to drying clothes. I think over the years, I got comfortable with some of the technology and things that I didn't grow up with, that I got comfortable in those. Like, if it's a dryer, it's going to dry everything, you know, versus keeping some of that old school things that I was taught. And like, that's how you did preserve clothes. Dryers do shrink your stuff. It melts. If you got a nice shirt like with stuff on it, it'll melt it, you know. Just kind of keeping those things, you know, in mind. And then just having that conversation. I mean, like him speaking up and saying, hey, don't put my certain colors, my blacks, or don't put my sweatshirts in the dryer. Okay.
Absolutely. I think that's a great point. Listening, you know what I mean? Listening to your partner is key. You know, saying what you like, you know, definitely saying what it is that you don't mind doing, what you feel like your strengths are when it comes to the responsibility of your house, and then also listening to your partner, hearing them, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like truly hearing what they saying.
Yeah.
Because, like you said, it's old school ways of doing stuff that, for me, I thoroughly kept throughout just my transitioning here in LA. You know what I mean? Because I've also had different transitions of having to live in a car and having to preserve and keep. And so the way that for me, going to the wash and fold was different, right? For me, I grew up having to carry big bags of laundry to the wash and fold. So that wasn't my thing. My thing, if I got it in the house, I don't want to take it to somebody else to wash and fold for me. I can do it right here.
Yeah.
But when I do it here, I'm going to do it in the ways in which we did it there, because everything went in one different one, all the different colors.
Yeah.
Nothing dried together. Whites was dried together. Blacks was dried together. Wash and fold for us growing up, you know what I'm saying? Everything did dry together at that time. But when I started really in college and all that stuff, for me, is where I really start honing in on how I like to clean my clothes. You know what I mean? Seeing the blacks get dingy after one dry. And like, you know, you get that little white shine.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
So I'm like, I don't want that. You know
like, how do I avoid this?
How do I avoid that little white haze that comes over
just
black?
Mess up your black. It's so black when you buy it.
The minute
you dry it, that black is gray.
It's over with.
It's gray black.
And so then, like, how you wash it. So I would just wash it and I keep my blacks.
Yeah.
A lot better. They last a lot longer. And of course, you got so much stuff out there with OxyClean and Color Guard and Black Guard and this, that, and the third. So I love that. You know, one thing that I would share when it comes to, you know, being together and under one roof as a couple, is just have fun. You know what I mean? And be joyful about your home. You know what I mean? If you bring joy to your home, no matter what it is, whether it's cleaning up around the house, whether it's cooking or whatever it is, just find a space of joy to broach the conversation with, so that it can always be a space where y'all working as a team.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And not working against each other.
Yeah.
A lot of time when you ain't hearing each other, you kind of just stuck on your own stance. You fighting a losing battle, because y'all both still got to live under this roof. You know what I mean?
Clean or not.
Yeah, you both still got to live under the roof.
I feel like it, because what we do, we turn music on.
Yeah.
Like, when it's kind of really, like, bust it down,
you know,
like, we turn on some good music, and I believe it helps the time go by, and it just keeps you, like, your energy up, you know, when you're, like, you know, decluttering the closet or
Mama's right as well, man.
Yeah, like, they used to listen to music all the time, and now you, as an adult, you get it. You better turn some music on so we can.
But, hey, when you trying to clean up and it's quiet,
that is like punishment.
You feel like every second is going by with just the dry
Like you're watching like paint dry on the wall.
I gotta clean the bathroom and the kitchen and the living room. Would you cut that music on? Man, I finna get this living room clean, done.
And finna get this bathroom done.
The kitchen done, what you wanna do? Cause now we got time. Shawty, we done clean up and we fine.
Gonna mop this floor.
You need that
Gonna
music.
mop this floor.
You need some good cleaning music and the right music.
Oh, the good. Like, I like a good, like, 70s.
Yeah.
You know, soul music.
Yes.
I want to hear some Marvin Gaye.
Yeah.
I want to hear some.
Anita.
Oh God, yes.
Freddie Jackson. Rock me tonight for old time's sake.
Woo!
Oh,
Baby.
I want to say the rock me
Tonight.
for old time's sake.
It's like we go back and actually listen to the music. They
Man.
was like,
That's it. Sunday Coolin with them cold. We just want to chop it up with y'all about how we have meshed our worlds together under one roof and how you can possibly do some of those do some of those same things. However you do it, it's your world, it's your relationship, but just do it with joy, like I said, man. Do it with love, do it with no expectation, and just do it together. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Sunday Coolin with them Colemans. Peace out.